Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Now, we're back on wild mode playing Powah's Jade Druid. Now, Druid is in a phenomenal position post Frozen Throne expansion release. It's had some incredible tools that have propelled it to the top of the ladder. Ultimate Infestation has been phenomenal. Spreading Plague has also been really good. This deck only plays one copy of Spreading Plague. And of course we have the Jade package in this deck too, which just makes it essentially a deck that can go on forever and ever and ever, which makes it really good against other control decks. Once the Jades start going out of control and you keep shuffling them and playing them, it makes it very difficult for your opponents to keep up, I guess. Against aggro, there are some weaknesses, but if you draw into ramp with Ysera early, and if you can get taunts out like Jade Behemoth, you do pretty well against aggro. Now, I had a nice win-loss record with this deck. You can see a whole streak of wins there to begin with, and then I had two losses, which were quite unfortunate. One loss against a Pirate Warrior who just out-aggroed me. I drew all of my late game, I think, and there was very little I could do. And then a Priest. Now, that Priest was fascinating. And you'll see a clip of that at the end of this video. It's worth watching because that Priest did some pretty crazy things against me and I just couldn't keep up with him. But as you can see, lots of wins there against a range of opponents. You know, we beat a Paladin, we beat a Pirate Warrior, beat a Hunter, and we beat 3 Priests. Yes, Priest is everywhere on the ladder. Lots of people playing it, playing the Raza Reno Priest with, you know, 0 cost, 2 damage hero powers. It's pretty strong. Okay, let's have a look at our first game here, and it's against a Warrior. Now, Swipe is pretty good against Warrior. The assumption is it's Pirate Warrior. Swipe is pretty decent. It kills a Frothing Berserker. It kills a buffed up Bloodsail Raider. So, good to have Swipe in hand. Spreading Plague is also excellent. Once you play Spreading Plague, and if they struggle to get through it, it can just buy you the right amount of time to recover. But he plays a haha, and there's 3 attack power on board. Now, my response to that feels pretty weak. I just summon a 1/1. Ideally, my 1/1 eats up his patches. That's the idea, and that's not such a bad thing for us. It removes 1 attack from the board. And against Pirate Warrior, hey, that 1 attack could mean all the difference between living and dying. And you know, of all the cards in the Druid deck, people talk about how broken Ultimate Infestation is. They talk about how broken Spreading Plague is. Actually, in my opinion, the most broken card in Druid, and I think this has always been the case, is Innovate. Because you saw there, I was able to innovate out a response to his board. If I didn't have Innovate, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So, Innovate, broken. So very broken. If there ever was a card that needed nerfing, it's Innovate, certainly. So I could use the Swipe here, but I don't think it's worth it. One card that could blow me out of the water, potentially, is Frothing Berserker. 2 or 3 turns of Berserker hitting my face before I can get defensive options in play could be game over for me. So actually I'm fine with doing what I did there in terms of trading both minions. I think most people would have used the Swipe on that last turn. I was happy to trade because I want to save that Swipe for Frothing. See, now that's an interesting play. Yeah, it was an error. If he was going to attack with the weapon, which I think he wants to do, he should have done it first and then played his 3/4. Yeah, that was a pretty big error, because now he's going to damage his 3/4 if he attacks, and then I get an easy trade with my 3/3. I'm now actually very tempted to use Swipe. Yes, I know I said I was saving it for Frothing Berserker, but I'm just going to assume he doesn't have it. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. Because next turn, we have our Death Knight. Wow, and he's going all in with damage here.
Spectacular.
And surprisingly, this is how Pirate Warrior can just kill you out of nowhere. A couple of heroic strikes along with a mortal strike, and you're just dead. I mean, look at that. 9 health, just like that.
The circle of life is over.
This is why the Druid Death Knight is so good against aggressive classes. Those 1/5 taunts are just so game-breaking. You know, he'd have to invest 2 charges on Arcanite Reaper to get through. And by that point, I'd have mounted a defense. Yeah, I'd have put more minions into play. So, no chance there for the Pirate Warrior. Feels good. Okay, joining this game in progress against a priest. Now, notice my hand. It's full of ramp. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. Because I can now race the priest in terms of putting out big threats onto the board. Or developing sort of, you know, my Jade minions.
Speak to me.
So, we'll have 8 mana next turn, and I'm happy to throw away my 1/1, and I'm happy to throw my 3/2. The reason is I want to clear this board because of that Acolyte. Ooh, that's pretty good. That Acolyte, in its buffed up health state, is just drawing a lot of cards, and we can't have that. Now, it's unfortunate. If we had 1 more mana, Fandrel Nourish would have been phenomenal here. Okay, so we can do it now. That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh yeah, pretty good. And if he doesn't have an answer to Fandrel, well, things could get very messy for him in future turns. The end is coming. Right, he really wants to get rid of Fandrel. Clearly didn't have a Shadow Word Pain, but he really wants to get rid of Fandrel. So he's hoping that I can't get through to that Doomsayer. Do you know what? I think this is worth it. Sure, I'm gonna lose out on my 5/5. It's just gonna die to the Doomsayer. But the card draw in this situation is so worth it. And I know I'm gonna overdraw. I get that entirely. But we're now well prepared to answer, hopefully, whatever he plays on this turn now. Because of that card draw. And that's fine. Losing Innovate was fine. I mean, if we'd lost Dr. Boom, you can see my deck on the right-hand side. If we'd lost Dr. Boom, if we'd lost the Death Knight, we'd be sad. Very sad. But losing any of those other cards, probably not such a big deal. And Brown Bronzebeard in this deck, synergizing incredibly well with Jade Behemoth. Also with Aya, also with Lotheb, and Dr. Boom potentially too. So Bran has value in the deck. There's also the synergy with the Death Knight, I believe. So that's always worth consideration. And we have a hand full of options, and the question always is, what is the best option? I think in this situation, sure, I know I've got Dr. Boom, I know I've got the Lich King, but I think growing our Jades is the sensible thing to do. Because there will come a point where the Priest won't be able to deal with my Jade Golems. But for that to be the case, they need to be of a suitable stature, a suitable size. Interesting. A 5-cost potion. He didn't go greedy with a 10-cost. I find that interesting. Because usually against a deck like this, you'd want Mystic Wool. You'd want to be able to polymorph an entire board away. A board full of heavy Jades. Okay. So, what do we get out of our deck? We get a Doomsayer. I believe that is the last minion left in our deck. And that's fine. It's absolutely fine. Because now, the Priest has to deal with the Doomsayer. If he wants Kazakus to stay on the board, but I'd presume Kazakus is going to trade anyway. So if you're the Priest, do you do anything on this turn? Probably not. You probably just have to pass, right? Or heal and pass. And that's good. Initiative to me. And once again, the hand is full of options. See, I could have summoned a Jade Golem there. I just value shuffling. Because look, I have Ultimate Infestation. I'm going to draw all of those Jade Idols very, very soon. And when I draw them all, I'll just start playing them all. I'm also conscious of Light Bomb, so I don't want to put too much on my board too soon. I was hoping with Dr. Boom that it would have invited out a Light Bomb perhaps, because Light Bomb deals with the Boom bots as well. But no such luck. Maybe he doesn't have it in hand. Or maybe he's saving it. Maybe he's sensible and he knows that the Jade Army is coming. Right. Now, if this doesn't bait out a Light Bomb, I don't know what will. I mean, a Light Bomb here... Oh, maybe he's looking for it. A Light Bomb here would kill a 7/7 and a 6/6, but then a 5/3 becomes an 8/8. So, don't know how good that is for him. But if you're not Light Bombing this board, what are you doing to it? How are you dealing with it? Alright, that does something, but not very much. And now, with Lotheb down, we're just making things a little bit more difficult for him. Trying to prevent as many spell shenanigans as possible. But I did not count on Shadow Reaper Anduin. I'd completely forgotten about that card. And there goes my board. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because I have Ultimate Infestation number 2. That'll draw me my Jade Idols. The question is, what do I want to do here? Do I want to play the Lich King? Do I want to play the Death Knight? Do I want to shuffle some more? Or play a Jade Idol onto the board? What do I want to do? This is a tough turn. If I play the Lich King, he may go all in to remove it. And that may make my Jade Idols, my Jade Golems, safer on later turns. So he may invest heavily here just to kill this. He may Light Bomb just to get rid of that. Maybe. Okay, so this may bring out a Light Bomb. 18 attack on board, which essentially kills him. There it is, and that's really important because now we know it's gone. The question is, does he have another one? Or is he arena deck? So we're just pushing face damage because we know that his hero power does not heal him anymore. Interesting that we don't have more Jade Idols in hand at this point in the game. But it's fine. Wow. So he stole that from Curious Glimmerroot, and he draws a full hand too. Now, this is where this game becomes fascinating. Because usually the way the priest wins is they over time they burst you down with that hero power. They play cheap cards, and each time they play a cheap card, they play the hero power for 0 after Raza. I'm expecting Raza next turn then to make that hero power 0. So, developing the Druid Death Knight now, I think is sensible. I think it's very sensible.
I'm almost out of cards.
And he burns his Reno. Incredible. Now that's game defining. Because now he's on the clock. Now he has to kill me. Because essentially now his healing is nullified. He has to kill me quickly. But with these Jade Idols now summoning what will next be a 12/12 golem, his clock has really sped up. And notice he's just doing everything he can to squeeze in as many hero powers as possible here. Now I'm almost out of cards, but I'm not really. This is the power of Jade Druid. You can keep going on as long as you need to go on for. You just shuffle those Jade Idols back into your deck. But before that happens, we have to deal with the board. And I was trying to see if there's any form of lethal here. I have 2 swipes in hand. That's 8 damage. But I can't get through that taunt easily enough. Unless I'm miscounting in some way, which I very well could be. But this seems good because with Excavated Evil, we clear most of his board. And that's important.
Death is eternal. I
So do you know all that shuffling we did previously on turns where maybe I should have played a Jade Idol rather than shuffling it? The shuffling is now helping because as we head into that late game, I've now accumulated all of these Jade Idols in hand and I'm just able to play them out one at a time. Just constantly putting threats onto the board, but not overcommitting too many Jade Golems at any one point in time. So I can afford to play one more Jade Idol onto the board and then I can shuffle the other one back into my deck. And you'd think that'd be enough to see out the game. But there's another pesky taunt in the way. He's really having to work hard to kill the Jade Golems. And usually at this juncture in the game, the priest wants to be sending that hero power face. But he can't, because he knows he can't afford to because of these Jade Golems. And my health total, including armor, is above 30 at this point. He's even killing his own cleric just to fit in another hero power. And I'm at 29 health now, including armor. He hasn't been able to do enough damage here to get me down far enough to kill me with this hero power. And there's lethal. So the shuffling strategy worked, slowly revealing those Jade Golems into the late game. And there's the bonus streak. Feels good. Right, this is another priest. Notice that priest is everywhere on the ladder right now. We went through a period of time where druid was everywhere, and now it seems priest is everywhere. It's almost like flavour of the month. Which deck is most overpowered? Which one can we play? I could innovate here. I'm just trying to think, is it worth it? I think it is. We're putting out a woohoo here. Jade Spirit. It's board presence, I guess. I mean, for 4 cost, it doesn't look particularly strong in terms of what you get. But what you get is a ramp of your Jade Golems, in essence. So it's like Jade Blossom. You get the Golem train going, and you have to start from somewhere. Oh wow. So this priest is going to look to get that Ysera back to life multiple times in the course of this game. This is fascinating. And now in some ways we are kind of on a clock here, which is why I'm trying to draw through my deck as quickly as possible. And when I say I'm on a clock, it's, I guess, a card draw clock more than anything else. I need to get the cards in my hand that are needed because there's a 12 health Ysera. So, my response is Doomsayer. But the longer this game goes, I would actually say the advantage goes to the priest, because that Ysera is going to be returning to that board. You know, that's the second Ysera. We're going to see a few more. And that is something that I think this deck will struggle to deal with unless the Jade Golems grow substantially. You see, look, there's a Drake. 7 attack, 6 health already on turn 6. This is the kind of thing that you expect beyond turn 9 or turn 10. It's turn 6 and there it is.
The circle of life is over.
So I'm going with the poison minions here, hoping that he has no answers, but with a hand full of cards, there is going to be an answer. unfortunately for me, I think. Yeah, Excavated Evil, sure. And look at the damage that's coming through here. This is crazy. And he's getting so much value with those dream cards. My response here is Doctor 7, but it doesn't do very much. Do you know, this was also a misplay on my part. I should have innovated out my hero power and killed his Drake, but look, actually, it didn't really matter. The boombots did the job. Yeah, the boombots did the job. I guess I saved myself taking 7 to the face after hero powering. But Ysera awakens. Wow, look at the value. Incredible value. But look, at least now I can kill her. And for once, I don't overdraw after playing Ultimate Infestation. Yeah, we end up with 9 cards in hand rather than 10. But unfortunately, he can just get his Ysera back. This kind of priest has the ability to do that. That's not a Ysera. And actually that's not as bad. At least I can kill it without any major consequence. So low Theb for the body, I guess. And we just need to keep the Jade Golems growing. That aspect of this game is going quite slowly. My Jade Golem's not growing fast enough. Rag Firelord, though, is a bit awkward here. Okay, that's good. Didn't kill the low Theb, sure. So we can deal with Firelord here. The question is how. Excavated Evil seems like the most sensible option. We could have hero powered, but we're taking 8. I don't want to take 8 to the face, if I can help it. So Excavated Evil, relatively sensible. And now what next? Doomsayer hopefully means we get initiative next turn. Now, why is that important? It's important because we can play Aya, we can play the Behemoth, and he'll then have to react to it. And yeah, he doesn't invest anything to kill that Doomsayer, but he doesn't see a need to. Right, so the golems are growing. The golems are slowly growing. I'm even going to Earthen Scales here, just to play around Dragonfire Potion. I mean, if he had Dragonfire Potion, we'd have still got something out of Aya, but now Dragonfire Potion does very little. So that's why I played my Earthen Scales. This isn't so bad, actually. Yes, I know that 4-8 is pretty annoying, but it's not so bad. I mean, if we lose a Jade Golem, so what? So what? We just shuffle some more Jade Idols and we play more Golems. And honestly, that lifesteal aspect isn't doing much for him at this point in the game. Alright, we'll see which one it kills. Yeah, kills the injured one. Pretty good. And who wants to trade into a Laughing Sister? Honestly, the worst Ysera Dream card. We're just going to ignore that. I think that's safe. Huh. Well, isn't that interesting? Doesn't do a huge amount for him. Wow. Okay, well that does something. Okay, so leaving Laughing Sister on board, well that hurt us a bit, but look, we've still got a 7 attack minion on the board. And the amount that he had to invest on that turn was crazy. So we feel good. Summon any minions removed. How many minions are actually in our deck? We have Brown Bronzebeard. That's it. As a minion. Wow. Dream. Okay. I don't want to put my face into that. So we just keep going with the Jade Golems here. Keep developing them. And the statues keep coming. The statues keep coming. How interesting. Okay. Fine. And I am being quite aggressive here. I am prioritising doing damage to his face here with my hero power rather than armouring up. Okay, there's the light bomb. Ooh, unlucky. That is not a Ysera. So, we have a few options here. Do we need to kill that? I think we definitely have to kill that. You know, we don't want that to live. And I'm fine to shuffle here. Just want to get some value out of Fandrel now while we can. He'll probably also invest heavily into killing it because he'll feel threatened by Fandrel. He probably feels more threatened by Fandrel than the 9/9, given the utility of Fandrel. But in this case, of course, he's nearly dead, so removing 9 attack from the board is your priority. Look at the value. Oh, but Ultimate Infestation is just too good here. Just too good.
Nothing but ash.
And who cares about overdrawing next turn, honestly? All we're going to overdraw is a Jade Idol. It does not even matter. Ha! Entomb. Really? Okay. So essentially, we've run this priest out of threats. We've outlasted him. Feels good. To shuffle or not to shuffle? I'm going to shuffle. There is no harm in shuffling. And now we draw. And we be aggressive. So what does this priest have left? What can he do that's going to save him from dying? Wow, he plays Master Spell. So, that was a sweet win, going the distance against the priest, outlasting him into the late game. Despite all of the threats that he played, in the end, just too many Jade Golems to cope with. Okay, now this is a fascinating game. And we're going to end on this note. notice something. My opponent is actually a priest who played the Druid Death Knight and is now a Druid. Yes. Crazy. How did it happen? Thought steal. Now he goes back to being a priest again. Yeah, this game was absolutely nuts. And so far, I've done pretty well against priests. This game was my first convincing loss against a priest. He even stole Ultimate Infestation, which is also nuts. Now, had he not stolen that, I think my chances of winning this game would have been much higher. The trouble now is with all the cards in his hand, there's more stuff he can play now every single turn to synergize with his hero power for 0. And I guess you could call this game a battle of the ultimate infestations. He played it, I played it. And, you know, up to that point, I still had some kind of a chance of winning this game. But then he played Skulking Geist, and then all of my Jade value, essentially, my infinite value was gone, and there was no point carrying on. So, yeah, so the Powah Jade Druid. You saw my win-loss rate at the start of the video. Impressive. Very impressive. My only 2 losses were at the end of my run with this deck against a Pirate Warrior who just overwhelmed me very early, and of course in that last little clip against a Priest who stole my Death Knight, who stole Ultimate Infestation, and who drew into Skulking Geist. There was just no hope, no prayer for me. And, you know, one of the reasons that I started playing this deck is because when I was playing as a priest, I was going up against Jade Druids that were outvaluing me with those massive Jades, and even with my 0 cost 2 damage hero power, I wasn't quite able to finish them off. So what I'm finding now is playing as a Jade Druid, I'm going up against priests with Skulking Geist, and that, as I say, is pretty much often in game over for you if you've exhausted all of your major threats and all you have left are those 1 cost Jade Idols. But generally speaking, you know, this deck is overpowered, this deck is broken, and this deck is fun to play. The evidence is in that win-loss rate that you saw at the start of the video. Yes, it's only a very small sample of games, I get that, but still successful against top-tier meta decks. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe, I'd be very grateful, and I will see you all again very soon for more Hearthstone fun.